In the wake of controversy surrounding him, Morning Consult conducted a recent survey that found some interesting things about the public's opinion on Ye. Can you explain?
Yeah, it's not surprising. There's a good portion of the country that just wants nothing to do with Ye at the moment, whether it's music or his sneakers or anything else that he touches. That's certainly not a surprise. I mean, here is someone kind of like Elon Musk, kind of like Donald Trump. Courts controversy is going to do what he wants, say what he wants. He's in a little more of a fragile position because he doesn't have the vast amount of wealth that Elon Musk has. His wealth was his status as a billionaire was tied up in one deal with Adidas, and he lost that, and he walked away from the Gap. And his music is Elon Musk continues to produce success. Kanye is not exactly doing that right now.
Yeah, his businesses definitely have seemed to come to a standstill, and he's faced controversy in the past, but is this different this time?
It feels different. I was working in the music business when Kanye pulled his shenanigans at the Grammys with Taylor Swift, and he was one of the executives, was a close confidant. And I remember we were sitting in a room at the afternoon when he was supposed to go on Jay Leno that night and talk about the whole thing. And it was very clear to everybody in the room that he was not in a strong mental state, and he should not be allowed to go on to the Tonight Show and talk about this. And eventually the whole thing, I believe, was scuttled. But that was a very dramatic moment, at least for the people who were there to basically protect the revenue that Kanye was bringing into the company, which is music revenue. And that's what he was at the time, pretty much, a rapper-producer. There was panic, and they pulled it back off the ledge. And later came the Adidas deal, the Gap deal, and all the other stuff that Ye got into. This time is the culture has kind of turned on him, it feels like. I said this last time, he is a musical genius. He has produced some incredible stuff. He could do it again. But this does feel quite different.
Yeah, and you've already said Forbes removed him from the billionaires list because of that deal with Adidas that went south. So does this sentiment towards Ye signal worse things financially to come for him?
He's not. There have been entertainers who have gone broke. Kanye's earnings didn't far exceed many of them. He just, because it was sneakers and it was a consumer product, we could value it differently than just, hit record after hit record. So, all entertainers have to court attention, and many of them court controversy. So you look at an artist like Rihanna, another entertainment billionaire. She courted controversy this year as well, very recently.
Can you explain?
She originally said that she would not participate in the Super Bowl ever or link up with the NFL because of the blacklisting of Colin Kaepernick. Well, she's announced that she will be performing at the Super Bowl halftime show. Johnny Depp, who is not exactly in high standing in culture at the moment, he was the centerpiece of her fashion show that just happened last week, and that seemed to go off just well. The world her fans have seemed to have forgiven her for linking up with the NFL. She's now got the hit song in the upcoming movie Wakanda. So, she's also a billionaire for the same reason that Ye is a billionaire, not from music, but from taking her fame and moving it into consumer products, in this case beauty and a lingerie line. And, she's courting just enough controversy because it keeps you in the headlines. It makes you valid. It keeps you current. It keeps you vibrant. That's the right kind of controversy in entertainment. Entertainers should court. Kanye may have thought he was doing that. Who knows what he was thinking, to be quite honest. But it hasn't worked. It went too far.
Yeah, definitely. But has this been a long time coming for Ye, or people just can't come back because the anti-Semitic remarks, he really doubled and tripled down on those?
Yeah, it's really hard to get inside the thinking there. The thing that I remember, can't say this, we know because we've reported it, that all of the advisors, we've worked with this camp for many years to basically determine how big his entertainment business is, how big his fortune is, and that entire team that we spoke to just a few months ago is gone. They don't work with him, and they're gone. They're all gone.
Was that their decision or his decision?
Unclear. Some say they left on their own volition. Some say they were pushed. It doesn't matter. They're all gone.
Yeah.
That's not a sign of stability. So, and I believe the quote that we used, I can't remember exactly, but when we asked who is the person that we should talk to for official response from the House of Ye, and the person said, well, I'm the person for the moment. So
okay, that's an indication there.
We don't know if he's getting any kind of outside advice or if he wants it. And if he doesn't get it and he keeps going down this path, in terms of pure finances, it's not a positive.
Yeah, and you mentioned he's a musical genius, as we know. I mean, he's had hit after hit after hit for decades. But now, according to this poll, only 17% of adults are either interested or somewhat interested in streaming his music. Do you think is that surprising to you?
On the surface, yes. But as I think about it, he really, hasn't had a hit for a good number of years.
Yeah.
So, and rap music, just historically, again, aside from the Jay-Z song that I mentioned before in New York, there's a few that stand the test of time. A number of Biggie songs that you'll hear always, number of Tupac songs you'll always hear. They tend not to have the life that rock songs have, or jazz standards have, or soul songs have. They just don't. They fade quicker. So his stuff, which was really hot in the late 90s, mid 2000s, it's not relevant, not fault of his, not fault of the music. It just doesn't have the long-term resonance. So he needs to put out new stuff. If he wants to stay relevant as a musician, he's going to need some new stuff.
And is there an appetite for that, if not now, in the future?
For him in particular?
Yeah.
Again, if it's good, if he can dig deep into that reservoir of talent that he has and get out of the headspace of trying to do something and just feeling it and doing, it's a classic thing. You just come from the heart. If he actually comes from the heart, maybe it's an album that's just sort of a self-reflective thing with lots of great, hooks on it, and that people just love because it's vulnerable and open and catchy. Sure, that's a smash hit.
Yeah, and
don't know if he's in a place to do that.
Yeah, and aside from music-wise, in the fashion space, he was huge. Do you think there's any coming back for him there?
I see that as less likely. I think culturally he's very toxic now. It's hard to say exactly who was designing those shoes. Clearly there's help because it involved, Michael Jordan doesn't design his shoes without Nike, neither does LeBron James, neither does Kyrie Irving, neither did Kanye. I'm sure they have a hand in it, and some of them may be better at it than others, and I believe Ye always said that he was very instrumental in the designs. He probably was. He's very creative. Could he go to somebody else and do it? Sure. But, Nike and Adidas, they're the big giants in this. Like, if you really want to make a splash, have the kind of splash that made him a billionaire, you're going to need one of those two companies, or Skechers, or somebody big, and they're not going to touch him.
And do you think, could you foresee a future where he's back on the Forbes billionaire list?
I don't.